Year 2025. The world stands on the brink of a new aerial revolution. At a classified airbase outside Washington, the U.S. Air Force is bringing to life a machine that could rewrite history. This is not just another fighter jet. It's being hailed in whispers as the next generation of stealth dominance. They call it the F-47 Ghost Raptor. The announcement that the USAF plans to mass-produce 500 of these jets sent shockwaves through defense circles around the globe. If you want to understand how this machine could reshape the balance of power, stay with us until the end. If you believe in America's strength in the skies, subscribe to JetForce America now, because today we open a box marked Top Secret. Behind closed doors, engineers, tacticians, and code writers are stitching together hardware and software in ways that were science fiction only a few years ago. The drama is real. Governments watching, contractors racing, adversaries recalibrating. This is the story of ambition meeting technology, and why the F-47 might be the most consequential weapons program of this decade. The origin story traces back a decade when the F-22 and F-35 reasserted U.S. aerial dominance. Over time, however, rivals didn't stand still. Russia and China poured resources into advanced fighters, the Su-57 and J-20, and into counter-stealth systems that threatened to blunt America's edge. The Pentagon convened an internal task force and quietly authorized Project Phantom Sky, a classified initiative to leapfrog existing designs. The result: the F-47 concept, smaller, smarter, and built from materials and systems engineered to evade every known detection method. Early design reviews read like the blueprint of the future: adaptive radar cross-section, AI-driven sensor fusion, and propulsion systems that minimize heat and acoustic signatures. Funding moved fast, industrial partners were quietly engaged, and prototypes entered a hush-hush testing. Congress saw redacted briefings. Only a handful of senior officials viewed the full architecture. The secrecy was deliberate, to keep adversaries guessing and to prevent proliferation of the core technologies. This hush allowed engineers to iterate rapidly, testing novel ideas without the glare of public scrutiny. The stakes? Control of the battlespace for years to come. The F-47's true edge comes from a convergence of advanced avionics and next-level material science. At the heart is a quantum-inspired AI avionics suite that learns in flight, anticipates threats, and reconfigures sensors on the fly. This system fuses signals from radar, infrared, electronic warfare, and satellite feeds to build a single hyper-accurate battlespace picture. Its skin uses carbon nanotube composites layered with radar-absorbing metamaterials, making the jet appear as nothing but weather noise to many conventional sensors. Thermal management uses plasma cooling channels integrated into the exhaust and outer surfaces, collapsing signature windows that would otherwise reveal the aircraft. The propulsion includes adaptive bypass ratios and stealth-optimized intake geometry, lowering acoustic footprint and thermal plume. Engineers speak of the plane as predictive. It doesn't just react, it anticipates. In live simulations, the F-47 consistently slipped past advanced integrated air defenses by exploiting micro-variations in radar timing, electronic emissions, and terrain masking. In short, this is a platform designed not only to survive in contested skies, but to dominate them by staying unseen and outthinking an opponent's sensors. Last week, the Air Force confirmed the F-47 is moving into a mass production phase, the moment many defense experts had been waiting for. The program will roll out an initial batch of 50 jets, with serial production ramping to hundreds over the coming years. Industry giants, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and the famed Skunk Works, are leading the build, coordinating across specialized suppliers and secure facilities. Production isn't simply about assembly lines. It's about integrating bespoke electronics, custom composite tooling, and classified software updates under strict security protocols. For the American public, the announcement felt like national pride renewed, a statement that innovation, industry, and military strategy can still come together to guarantee deterrence. This step signals a shift from prototype to fleet. Operational doctrines will change, fighter wings will adapt, and training pipelines will expand. Pilots will be trained to operate alongside semi-autonomous systems, and logistics networks will be overhauled to support advanced maintenance demands. The transition from single demonstrator to a deployed squadron is immense, both a technical and cultural milestone for the Air Force. When the first F-47 prototype was revealed in controlled briefings and limited imagery leaks, analysts and enthusiasts alike were stunned. The airframe favors ultra-smooth surfaces and blended wing profiles that erase traditional control lines. And the external geometry prioritizes wave scattering rather than reflection. Beneath an outer layer of radar-absorbent skin lies a carbon nano-shield and internal bay layouts designed to minimize signature leakage. Exhaust geometry and internal cooling systems produce an almost non-existent infrared trace, an extraordinary feat for a high-thrust fighter-class aircraft. Satellite imagery of test flights showed only faint, blurred shapes, prompting debates about how to remotely monitor such assets in future conflicts. Visual designers note influences from earlier stealth programs, but the F-47 steps away from brute stealth into a new paradigm: signature management as an adaptive process. The implications for reconnaissance and counter-air operations are huge. Detection windows shorten or disappear entirely, forcing opponents to rethink surveillance, targeting, and rules of engagement. The announcement triggered immediate responses from rivals. Beijing state media framed the development as an escalation of American power projection, while Moscow suggested its own projects would meet or exceed the new threat. Diplomatic channels grew tense as military planners on 3 continents hurried to analyze the implications. But it's not just geopolitics. The F-47's neural network decision cycles reportedly operate orders of magnitude faster than traditional human-in-the-loop command chains. In contested environments where milliseconds matter, quick automated decisions can determine survival. Exercise simulations run in restricted test environments showed the F-47 defeating layered integrated air defense systems by leveraging rapid adaptive jamming, micro-maneuvering, and decoy deployment. These capabilities undermine the value of old-style massed air defenses and suggest a future dominated by stealthy, networked platforms that operate with autonomy and speed beyond human reaction. As a result, nations reliant on legacy air defenses must accelerate upgrades or risk obsolescence. Across America, the news sparked a wave of pride and conversation. Waterfront diners, suburban living rooms, and veteran halls lit up social feeds with images of the Ghost Raptor and comments like, "This is why we lead the skies." For many veterans, the project rekindled memories of earlier leaps in aerospace, a modern echo of the days when new aircraft changed the calculus of conflict. Civilians and defense watchers debated budgets, ethics, and strategy. But a common thread was renewed confidence in American technological leadership. Industries upstream from the aircraft, composite manufacturing, microelectronics, and AI firms saw stock and contract interest spike. Community pride translated into political support in many districts where facilities and suppliers are based, bolstering local economies. The cultural reaction isn't just about weapons. It's a signal that cutting-edge engineering and national purpose can create jobs, prestige, and deterrence in one package. Step inside the cockpit, and the F-47 looks like a marriage of human intuition and machine speed. Pilots wear helmets that provide 360-degree augmented reality overlays, integrating satellite feeds, infrared imaging, and threat indicators into one seamless visual stream. A thought-assisted interface reduces manual inputs. Heads-up commands and eye tracking let pilots select targets instantly, while the AI handles low-level control stabilization. The system monitors biometric data, heart rate variability, oxygen saturation, and cognitive load, so the jet can adjust automation levels if the pilot becomes overwhelmed. That reduces human error under stress and makes sustained high-tempo missions more survivable. The cockpit architecture also supports collaborative operations with unmanned wingmen. Autonomous drones act as sensors, decoys, or weapon platforms, coordinated through a mesh network that the F-47 manages in real time. It's not just a cockpit. It's a node in a distributed combat system where humans and machines complement each other. Hidden weapons complement the platform's stealth. Internally carried hypersonic missile variants provide strike options at several hundred miles, while smaller internal bays house precision glide munitions and directed energy countermeasures. Some warheads incorporate electromagnetic pulse (EMP) payloads designed to disrupt electronics at the tactical level, disabling radar arrays and communications in localized strikes. Electronic warfare suites on board can emit targeted deception signals, blanking friendly or enemy sensors selectively and enabling surgical suppression of defenses. The combination of standoff weapons and close-in countermeasures lets the F-47 penetrate contested airspace, neutralize high-value targets, and exit without leaving a clear forensic trail. These systems blur the line between offensive and defensive missions. A jet can simultaneously protect friendly assets while shaping the battlefield through silent, hard-to-trace strikes. Commanders planning operations will need new tactics to use such capabilities without escalating conflicts uncontrollably. Internationally, the F-47's arrival rekindled Allied interest in deeper defense cooperation. Countries with shared strategic needs, Japan, several European partners, and Israel, expressed eagerness to explore interoperability or technology sharing where politically permissible. But Washington also made clear, this platform is a sovereign capability, primarily for U.S. defense. That stance triggered debate among allies who desire closer integration against shared threats. Diplomats warn that while allied cooperation can enhance collective security, it also risks proliferating sensitive methods if not tightly managed. In parallel, global arms markets and regional balances began to shift. Procurement plans in several countries were reassessed, and defense ministries scrambled to secure alternatives or complementary systems. As such, the F-47 became not only a U.S. asset, but a global variable in defense economics and alliance politics. Production is distributed across secure sites, not concentrated in a single factory, a deliberate decision to reduce vulnerability and speed scale-up. Reports indicate manufacturing hubs in the Nevada desert, an Arctic assembly in Alaska, and a secure Pacific facility supporting Pacific Command needs. Each site focuses on distinct subsystems. One specializes in composites and low observability coatings, another in avionics and AI hardware, and a third in propulsion and thermal systems. The program's unit cost is high. Estimates range into the billions per complete system when development, amortization, and support infrastructure are included. Yet officials frame this as an investment in strategic stability. The cost of deterring aggression and avoiding larger, costlier conflicts. The industrial base expansion also creates specialized workforce demands. Technicians trained in nanofabrication, AI maintenance, and classified supply chain security. Ensuring that workforce is available and secure becomes as critical as the engineering itself. The first public reports of a late-night test flight stirred eyewitness accounts and a flurry of analysts trying to reconstruct what was seen. In Nevada, witnesses reported a silent, ghost-like object slipping through the sky with minimal heat signature and little sound. The Air Force later confirmed the successful flight test, attributing it to the F-47 program. For the military, the flight validated years of simulation work and closed critical performance gaps from earlier prototypes. For observers, it was a symbolic moment. The technology had transitioned from lab data and wind tunnel models to practical demonstration. Flight tests now proceed in a phased, instrumented regime. Sensors collect terabytes of telemetry, engineers refine software updates, and pilots extend operational envelopes. Each test tightens reliability and increases confidence that the F-47 can perform under real-world constraints. Looking ahead, planners envision a 2030 landscape where F-47s fly alongside autonomous drone squadrons and distributed sensor networks. These drones would act as forward eyes, loitering in contested airspace while the F-47 coordinates strikes and handles high-value tasks. The architecture is an AI-centric, multi-domain combat ecosystem where decision loops are compressed and latency minimized. This future raises tough questions about command structures, rules of engagement, and the ethics of machine-enabled force. Yet from a doctrinal perspective, the benefits are significant. Faster targeting cycles, lower pilot exposure, and the ability to operate within heavily contested environments that would be lethal for older platforms. Militaries will need to rewrite tactics, train crews in mixed human-machine operations, and develop legal frameworks that account for autonomous functions in combat. The message to adversaries is blunt. The F-47 isn't merely another aircraft, it's a strategic statement. It signals capability and resolve, an implicit deterrent constructed from concealment and speed. Rival states know the mathematics of detection and counterdetection, and a platform that collapses those equations forces them into uncomfortable choices. Invest heavily in new sensors, disperse resources, or cede certain operational options. The geopolitical ripple effects are real. Air defense planners will accelerate upgrades, procurement cycles may shift, and regional balances will be reworked. But deterrence also carries risks. The presence of such a capability could trigger rival escalation or spur new forms of asymmetric response. In the interplay of technological advantage and political restraint, the F-47 becomes a lever that must be wielded carefully. In closing, the F-47 Ghost Raptor is more than metal and code. It's a symbol of persistent innovation and the U.S. commitment to maintaining an edge in an uncertain world. For many Americans, it's a source of reassurance that the nation can still translate research into decisive capability. For allies, it offers a promise of a stronger security umbrella. For competitors, it's a challenge that will demand response. If you believe in secure skies and technological edge, share this video, like it, and subscribe to JetForce America so you don't miss our next deep dive. In our upcoming episode, we'll reveal the classified sensor suite the Pentagon reportedly nicknamed the God's E, how it fuses data, how it defends the jet, and what its existence means for future warfare. Stay tuned. The age of predictable battle spaces is ending, and the era of intelligent, unseen deterrence has begun.